In the last classes I have explained the single dimensional arrays, that is one dimensional array, and some of the programs on one dimensional arrays. Some of the programs on one dimensional arrays. And what is a double dimensional array? What is a double dimensional array? Here an array is a collection of similar data type elements. An array is a collection of similar data type elements. In this video session, I am going to explain two-dimensional arrays and string functions. In this video class, I am going to explain two-dimensional arrays and string functions. Two-dimensional arrays and string functions. And before entering into this video, I would like to give a brief on the previous video. I would like to give a brief on the previous video, that is, what is an array and what are the types of arrays and how to create an array, how to initialize an array variable, and how to insert the values at runtime, and what is a double dimensional array. What is a double dimensional array? What is a double dimensional array? So here the array is a collection of similar data type elements. An array is a collection of similar data type elements. An array is a collection of similar data type elements. In a continuous created in a sequential memory allocations. When you declare an array, the arrays are created in a sequential order in a memory. The array is created in a sequential order in the memory. So how to create an array? An array is created, that is data type, array name, and the size. How many locations you want to create. The size refers the number of locations that you want to create. So here in the previous video I have explained you some of the programs, that is integer a of 5. So when you declare an integer variable a of 5, that is the array index number starts with 0 to 4. 0 to 4. Like that we can insert the values into the array at the time of initialization. At the time of initialization of an array, and at the runtime by using scanf function. And there are types of arrays. One dimensional array and two dimensional array. One dimensional array and two dimensional array. Multi-dimensional arrays are also there. The one dimensional array is created in the form of a row. The one dimensional array is created in the form of a row. The two-dimensional array is created in the form of a row and column. The one-dimensional array is created in the form of a row, and the two-dimensional array is created in the form of row and column. In the form of row and column. The advantages of arrays in C. Fewer lines of code. The advantages of arrays in C. Fewer lines of codes, as a single array can be defined to hold multiple elements, thus code optimization. Elements of an array can be accessed randomly. Elements of an array can be accessed randomly with the index number. The elements in an array can be easily traversed. Arrays data are easy to manipulate. Arrays data are easy to manipulate. Sorting becomes easy in an array with fewer lines of code. The disadvantage of arrays in C. There is no bounds checking. That is, if we define an array with size 5 and if we input the elements more than 5, it doesn't give any error. It doesn't prompts any error. The array is of fixed size. Once it is initialized, we cannot add new elements after initialization. The number of elements that you need to store in an array must be known in advance. There may be a wastage of space if more memory is allocated than the required amount. There may be a wastage of space if more memory is allocated than the required amount. These are the disadvantages of arrays. And two-dimensional arrays. Like one-dimensional arrays, two-dimensional arrays must be declared before it is used like other variables. Like one-dimensional arrays, two-dimensional arrays must be declared before it is used like other variables. The general form is data type, array name, row size and column size. Data type, array name, row size and column size. Where data type is like int, float, char, etc. Array name is valid C variable name. Array name is the valid C variable name. And the row size is the maximum number of rows. I will explain by taking the paint application. Here I am writing main in this one integer a of sum 3. This is a single dimensional array. One dimensional array. Here is the one-dimensional array and this is the two-dimensional array. The one-dimensional array is created in the memory in a row model. In the model of row 0, 1, here this is 0, this is 1, this is 2. Here 0, 0, 1, 2. In this way, the double dimensional array is created in the memory. In this way, the double dimensional array is created in the memory. So here, these are the index numbers we already known, 0, 1, 2, and here 0, 1, 2 and 0, 2, 1, 2. The double dimensional array is created in the memory in the form of row and column. Row and columns. These are the rows. These are the columns. Here row and column. One dimensional array is created in the form of row and column. Main integer a of 3, 0, 1, 2, and this 0, 1, 2 are called as index numbers. Here also 0, 1, 2 called as index numbers. This is column index number, row index number. So here in this way, a of 0 refers to this location. A of 0 refers to this location. Here A of 0 of 0, A of 0 of 0 refers this location. A of 0 of 0 refers this location. Here using its row number and column name, we can access that locations. Using its row number and column name, we can access the locations in the two-dimensional array. But in one-dimensional array, only the rows are there, no columns here, only rows are there. So that using its index number, that is row number, we can insert and retrieve the value. And in the two-dimensional array, so these arrays are created in the form of rows and columns. These arrays are created in the form of rows and columns, so that we can access these locations, these locations with the help of this row number, that is row index number, and column index number. A of 0, 0 refers to the first location. A of 0, 1, A of 0, 2 is this one. So A of 1 of 1, A of 1, 1, A of 1 and 1. So here A of 1 and 1 refers this. A of 1 and 1 refers this location. 0, 0 this one and 1, 1 this one, and A of 2 and 2. A of 2 and 2. This is 2 and this is 2. Like one-dimensional arrays, two-dimensional arrays must be declared before it is used like other variables. Two-dimensional arrays must be declared before it is used like other variables. The general form is data type and array name, row size and column size. Areas data type is int, float, char, etc. Array name is valid C variable name. Valid C variable. Row size is the maximum number of rows in a table. Column, the maximum number of columns in the table. Example into num of 3 and 3. Here array variable is number, the data type is int, and for this one 3 rows and 3 columns are created. For this one 3 rows and 3 columns are created. So this one is okay. Here you can take A as example, A of 3 and 3. The array is created in this way. And two-dimensional array initialization. The two-dimensional array can be initialized in two ways. The two-dimensional array can be initialized in two ways. Static initialization, that is compile time initialization, and dynamic initialization, that is runtime initialization. In the static initialization, the 2D array may be initialized by following their declaration with a list of initial values enclosed in braces. For example, this one. The above statement initializes every element of the first row to first and of the second row to twos. The initialization can be done row by row. The above example can be written as follows. So this is an example for initializing of an array. So now I will show you one example on this double dimensional array. I will write a program on this double dimensional arrays. Then afterwards string functions. Program on double dimensional array. I want to insert these values. By reading it from keyboard. Integer of 2 comma 2 is a double dimensional array, 2 rows and 2 columns. I am taking a for loop for I is equal 0, I less than 2, I plus plus, and for j is equals to 0, j less than 2, j plus plus. One is for row and another one is for column. Scanf percentage d comma ampersand a of I j scanf percentage d comma ampersand a of I j, and one more for enter array elements in 2x2 order. Here two for loops for one is for rows and another one is for columns, outer loop and inner loop. Save this program. Double arrays. Any errors? What is the error? std error, spelling stdio.h. Here letter D is a problem in this keyboard. Control F9, no errors, and enter array elements in 2x2 order, that is 4, 6, 3, 7. Here see the result, that is your entered elements are 4, 6, 3, 7. So you can print this in a form of array also. Now see the effect. Your entered elements are 4, 7, 5, 8. The 4, 7 are the first row and 5, 8 are the second row. 4, 7 and 5, 8. 4, 7 are the first row and is the second row. So this is a program on double dimensional arrays. And the next one, string functions. String functions. A string is nothing but a collection of characters. A string is nothing but a collection of characters. A single character is defined using single quotation representation. If you have declared a character variable that is char a or char ch, if you have declared a character variable that is char a or char ch, that we have to represent in the single quotes, a string is represented using double quotation marks. A single character is defined using single quotation representation, single quote representation. A string is represented using double quote marks. Example, welcome to C programming. A string is represented using double quotation marks. That is example, welcome to C programming. C provides a standard library. C provides a standard library that is string.h. C provides standard library string.h. It contains many functions which can be used to perform string operations easily. A group of character array is called string. A group of character array is called string. In implementation, we require character array of. In implementation, we require a character array. We require a character array. Here a string is nothing but a collection of characters. A string is nothing but a collection of characters. A single character is defined. A single character is defined using single quotation mark, single quote representation. A string is represented using double quotation marks, double quote marks. A string is represented with double quote marks. Example is welcome to C programming. Example is welcome to C programming. C provides standard library string.h. C provides standard library string.h. It contains many functions which can be used to perform string operations easily. C provides standard library string.h header file. String.h is the header file like conio.h, stdio.h, math.h. There is a string.h especially for string operations, string manipulations. String.h is a header file. It contains many functions which can be used to perform string operations easily. A group of character array is called string. We require a character array. We require a character array. We require character array. We require character array. So how to declare a string? Char string variable name array size. Char string variable name array size. So in the integer array there is a data type int. The name of the array is a. Name of the array is a and the array size is 3, 4 or 5. So the general syntax for declaring a variable as a string in C is as follows. char string variable name array size. Char string variable name array size. The size of an array must be defined while declaring a C string variable because it is used to calculate how many characters are going to be stored inside the string. So in general we can declare this one. So the general syntax for declaring a variable as a string in C is as follows: char string variable name array size. Some valid examples of string declaration are as follows: char name of 10, declaration of a string. Char name of 10, declaration of a string variable. Char name of 10. The common operations performed on strings are reading and writing strings. The common operations performed on strings are reading and writing strings, combining strings together, copying one string into another, comparing two strings for equality, so reading and writing strings, combining strings together, copying one string into another, comparing strings for equality, extracting a portion of string. So like numeric, here these are the string operations. Generally we can find out the length of a string. The string operation. Length of a string is also a string operation. Copying string, comparing strings, reading and writing strings. Reverse of a string, reversing a string. The common operations performed on strings are reading and writing strings, reversing a string, copying one string into another, comparing strings for equality, length of a string. So, like numeric arrays, character arrays may be initialized when they are declared. C permits a character array to be initialized in either of the following two forms: char place of 9, that is New York, char place of 9, NEWYORK. So here when we initialize a character array by listing its elements, we must add a null character. Like numeric arrays, character array must be initialized when they are declared. C permits a character array to be initialized in either of the following two forms. Char place 9 New York, char place 9 New York. So how this is the initialization of array. How to reading strings from keyboard. So how to read a string from keyboard? Here using scanf function, we can read a string from the keyboard. The input function scanf can be used with %s format specification to read a string. Format specifier, format string, format specifier. Format specifier is the input function scanf can be used with %s format specifier to read a string. Example: char addr, address of 10, that is scanf %addr, and using getchar and getS. Using getchar an entire line of text can be read and stored in an array. Using getchar, an entire line of text can be read and stored in an array. So the reading is terminated when the new line character is entered and the null character is then inserted at the end of the string. The getChar call takes the following form: char ch is equals to getChar. Here the reading strings from keyboard. How the strings can be read from the keyboard using scanf function and using getChar and getters functions. So here getters function. This is a simple function with one string parameter and called as getters name, and writing screens to the screens, writing strings to screen using printf function. The format specifier, the format %s can be used to display an array of characters that is terminated by the null character. For example, the statement printf %s comma name can be used to display the entire contents of the array name. And using putchar, C supports another character handling function, putchar, to output the values of character variables. It takes the following form: char ch is equals to a putchar of ch, and using puts. This is one parameter function and invoked as in the puts name. Name is a string variable containing the string value. Name is a string variable containing a string value. This prints the value of the string variable str and then moves the cursor to the beginning of the next location. Various string handling functions: strcat, strchr, strcmp, strcpy, str string length. So this is a string length function. By using this predefined function, we can find length of a string. By using this predefined function, we can find length of a string. strlen requires one argument of type const char star, that is an address of a string. strlen requires one argument of type const char star, that is an address of a string. Length of a string means total number of characters excluding null. So I will show you one example. Enter your name. Enter your name. Then instead of writing scanf, we can simply write getters of name. Printf your name is run this file. How many errors are 3 errors. std error. How many errors are there? Unterminated string here. Yes. Just observe what are the different types of errors. Just rectify it. And again control F9. No errors. Raju. Here see, your name is Raju. Your name is Raju. You can also find out the length of a given string. strlen gth dot c. Here I am taking one more variable, integer I. I is equal to strlen of name integer name Raju. See the effect here. Number of characters are 4. I am entering one more name, that is Ramesh. Then see the result. The number of characters are 6. Here, in this way, we can find out the length of a given string. Here, in this way, we can find out the length of a string. So, we can create a string array and we can find out the length of a given string. So, in this class, I have explained to you what is a double dimensional array and how the double dimensional arrays are created, and what is the difference between this single dimensional array and double dimensional array, and how the double dimensional arrays are created in the memory, and a program on double dimensional array, and what is a string, and what is the string, how to read the values into a string from keyboard, and how to print the values of the strings onto keyboard, and various string functions, various string functions, various string functions, various string functions, and a program on strings reading and displaying, and another program to find out the length of a given string. Thank you.